What's up, school owners and martial artists alike? Today with me, I have Mike Metzger.
Well, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. And thank you for wanting to have a little session to see how we can help the industry.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here in Oklahoma and it's super hot right now. How is it there? I'm going to be there next week.
Oh, are you? When do you
Yeah,
get in? Are you getting in like Thursday, Wednesday?
Thursday.
Okay, well, I could tell you that I was just in Washington area and Virginia, and it was much hotter there than it is here. However, it is hot here. It is 95.
Oh, dang. Okay,
But
I'm
I was
griping and it's like 90.
and it's the humidity here, and but in Washington, the Virginia area and Washington area, it was like 110 plus heat index when I was there a week and a half ago or something.
Man, yeah, that's crazy. That's like where you can't breathe when you walk outside.
I don't like heat, but I've been in
Mm-mm.
Orlando, Florida since 1989.
Nice.
Not really.
That's quite a bit. Since
I
the
like snow.
1900s is what they say now.
I like cold. I like mountains, but my roots are here and I'm loyal, so I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am with Oklahoma. Tornadoes
There you
can't
go.
scare me away anymore. Okay, so anyway, I brought you here to explain MAIA to those who have never heard of it, and that, any information that you can give that will inspire people to understand what MAIA is all about and stuff like that. So
Sure.
basically, just pretend like we're in a room full of people in the industry who have never heard of it before.
Well, first of all, I'll say this. We're probably losing people now, viewers, right? Because there's an instinct where, okay, so people are believing they just turned into an infomercial now. And the thing is if they can just hear it out, on who we are and what we do, because what people, I don't know if they know, but Century Martial Arts is the parent company of MAIA.
Yeah.
And why is that, right? Century started MAIA because Mr. Dillard Sr., Mike Dillard Sr., his passion is to grow the martial arts industry. If anybody has met Mike Dillard Sr., as successful of a businessman that he is at the core a martial artist first and foremost. And his passion was, we got to do more to grow the martial arts industry, to impact more lives, to get more people involved in martial arts. So MAIA was born. And for the old timers that are watching this, MAIA was born with VHS tapes in a little box that we would mail out with some ad slicks for school owners. And that's how it was born. Then it evolved to CDs or DVDs, right? For some of the people that remember that. But then we decided we have to do something more. And how did we come up with that? We would go visit schools and we would see boxes stacked up in the corner that were never even opened. So schools weren't accessing all the information that was being put out. So one of the things that we made a promise to the industry, myself and Frank Silverman and Mr. Mike Dillard, and by the way, all the consultants that are part of the MAIA team, is what is the best way that we can help school owners? Well, the first thing, and by the way, we're 25 years into this, so we've been around. We're not going anywhere.
Seasoned.
Other people come and go, and by the way, other consultant companies are great as well, but it's not easy. But one thing that we have not swayed away from is one-on-one consulting. So what is MAIA Elite? MAIA Elite is a coaching program, an educational program, and a motivational program. It's three things in one. And the only way we knew we could do that to the best of our ability was help school owners specific to their needs in their business. And that the only way we could deliver that is by having one-on-one conversations with that school owner. Now, if we wanted to scale this at a bigger level, we can do that, because we can sign people up at a lower price and have 400 people on a webinar and just talk about a general topic where people will get something out of it. But a school that has 40 students is going to have different needs than a school owner that has 3 locations and 1,000 students doing $1 million a year. So MAIA Elite is a one-on-one consulting program. Also, besides the one-on-one consulting, we hold 3 events a year where we bring everybody together for 2 days to not only listen to the consultants and get revived and motivated to bring their team and their staff, but also to network with all these martial arts school owners that are all over the country and the world. And we have our next one coming up next weekend. You just said you'll be out there, and we have about almost 500 people going to be at the event, and we pull these numbers 3 times a year. I believe we're the only organization that pulls those numbers 3 times a year. There may be other organizations that do 1 a year that pull some big numbers, and it's not a competition. I say that to stress the fact that the people that get into our program, they see the value in that. And for people, it's, I don't discount the fact that it's an investment for people to fly to an event. Even though we get good rates on the hotels, it's still a plane ticket. The seminar is included with MAIA. It's all part of it. There's no cost to come to the events once you're in the MAIA Elite program. But that's what it is. It's a one-on-one consulting program to maximize your potential in your martial arts business. And some people want to know about exit strategies. Some people want to know how to scale their business. Some people want to know, how do I hire and bring on staff and compensate team members and bring them up and develop a corporate schedule, corporate structure. And some people are just like, how do I get to 100 students and beyond?
See, and that's where I want to know, like, when they get to that stage, like when you accumulate these people that are interested in MAIA, how do you kind of funnel them to their right direction and stuff like that? Like, kind of what steps happens after they join? Like, I mean, it's easy to join, right? I mean, they literally just sign up, or one of you guys tells them, hey, you should sign up, or like what your signing up process is. Once they're I guess approved and joined, where does it go from there?
Depending on their needs and where they're at, we will recommend a specific consultant for them that we feel will be the best match to their personality. The other thing that people have to understand is this is like a martial arts school. It's a relationship business. So if somebody's working with one of the consultants, but they need somebody that's a little tougher on them or a little softer on them, we could just move them to another consultant. But how do we design what they need? It's based on the information we get from them. So when they tell us specifically where they're at, like, well, how many students do you have? What's your group? By the way, here's another, I hope people are listening to this, because a lot of people in our industry define success by how many students we have, right? And, with MAIA, we have schools that are in such rural areas that will never have 400 students. I mean, when you're in a town of 5,000 and it's a household income low and there's just not a big population and it's rural, it may not be getting you to 400 students. So it's not just about how many students you have. It's what kind of revenue are you generating from the students that you have? How do you do that without nickel and diming your people? How do you do that through value and service? And so based on what their needs are, and then what is it that they want? What is their goal?
Yeah.
And then we reverse engineer that. So depending on what a school owner wants, we will work backwards and tell them exactly how to get there. And we do that, by the way, because when you consult school owners one-on-one for 25 years or 20 plus years in the one-on-one consulting, we have learned so much from the industry itself by working with people. We've systemized it. So we know what works everywhere. It's not just what works in a big city with high income and a big household, incomes, what works everywhere. So I think that's the biggest, that's probably the biggest difference between MAIA and most consulting companies. I know there's others out there that do one-on-one, but we don't specify one area of your business. We, by the way, not to go off topic, but the question here is also, well, what do you do if a school owner joins you? Because I'll give you an example. Yeah. We've had several school owners, and they can meet them at a seminar, or if anybody's interested, I'll give you the phone numbers to different people. But we have school owners that were grossing less than $5,000 a month, less than $5,000 a month, that are now grossing 1.3, 1.5, 1.8 million a year, one location, no after school programs. The question is, well, what do you do with those people? Well, we also have a wealth program, right? So they can
Mm-hmm.
go into the wealth program as well, where now it's what do you do once you start maximizing this? I'm going into like seminar form. The first thing is you got to take care of yourself and your family. The second thing is you got to take care of your team, your staff members, whatever you want to call them, your employees and their families. And number three, you have to parlay that success into passive income and revenue. That's kind of how we do that. So
you kind of, once they get to that point of making so much revenue where like a normal person would go to like blow it all at a casino or something, you kind of tell them like, this is how you manage this. Like you are at the top now. You need to learn how to like manage it. Is that kind of what you're saying?
100%. That's
when
exactly
they get in the
right.
wealth. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
That's cool. I like all the levels that MAIA has because I mean it really is so specially curated for each situation and person. And so it's not like you go in and you're just like in a whole room of people that are already so major successful. You kind of start out at the same level, you know, with people that you can talk to that are kind of in your same boat and stuff like that. And so you kind of go through the levels like elite and then wealth. And is there another one? Is there a third branch?
There isn't. There's a where people can license if they want to get into the licensing. It's not a franchise by any means, but it's a turnkey system that's something that if people are interested in later on, and I will tell you that 75% of the elite members go that route, because when you can take somebody from here to here and they see that we're always there for them. I mean, they can call anybody, like they have a whole team. I'm sitting in my conference room in my office, but it's not just your consultant. The other thing about MAIA is there's a whole team here that they can call. We have director of operations of program that handle all the program directors. Like if they had a program director that needed something, they can call their consultant, they can call us, they can call one of our people, they can call one of our chief instructors. There's a whole team of people here. So, but yes, that's kind of the level and the stages. I think the biggest thing that I see, and by the way, I see it before people even start, people think they know. People think they know what, you know, I don't want to say they think they know everything, but they think they're doing everything and there's nothing more that they can learn. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that feel that way.
Stubborn.
And it's human, I think. It's human.
Yeah.
And the thing is I think it's, you know, it's not what you know that gets you to the next level. It's what you don't know that gets you to the next level. And then we find that when people reach a certain success, they forgot what got them there. And then they start missing what by the way, the other thing we do in Elite is I do a meeting every month with all of the school owners. So, and all the consultants. So we have that every month besides the one-on-one consulting. But then I start seeing people, well, they didn't make the meeting. Oh, they're not coming to the seminars. And then a year or two later, you find out they're calling saying, "Sir, we're down from last year. We're down." So I see that happen. Yeah. But I see this industry, they don't even start, right? There's a fear there. There's a fear of who are you to tell me how to run my business? Has nothing to do with your art, has nothing to do with your culture, has nothing to do with your curriculum, your style of martial arts. It's business. And we have a track record and we just know how to help the industry. One other point I want to make too is, you know, I mentioned the event next week. We have 500 people that are going to be at this event. Yeah. But we also do, and we have one coming up August 8th and 9th. It's what we call a success summit. And again, it's us learning on how can we be more impactful. And this success summit is limited to like 10 school owners. And that's it. And we want to keep it intimate and powerful for the 10 school owners. And the thing is we'll do these, you know, maybe once or twice a year as well. And it's a 2-day event, but to be a little bit more intimate, a little bit more specific for people who are not in the elite program. So we do those too. But if it was just about money grabs, why would we? Well, you know, why would I do 10 when we could do 500, right? But I do that because we do that in one of my schools in the conference room where they can witness a live mass enrollment and see the system in action. And I think it's really powerful as opposed to going to a hotel and doing something in a seminar format all the time. So we do those too.
What do you think is what keeps people from like joining MAIA? Like, I know you guys get a lot of what we say leads or stuff like that, but what do you think, what scares them? Are people scared to put money into something to get more later, or?
There's a couple of things. There's a natural
Yeah,
instinct. There's a natural instinct to not want to be sold. So if you get a call and it's a solicitor, do you even listen to what they have to say? What if it's the best thing that they can offer you in your life? You probably don't even get there. You hang up,
that's
right?
true.
It's an instinct, right? So number one, anytime we feel like we're going to be sold, most of us just shut up. I don't even want to hear it. Number one. Number two,
Mhm.
the other thing is they just want our money. You know, there's a trust issue there. And I think there's a trust issue there because in any industry, there's good and then there's not really good.
Mhm.
And that's no different in the martial arts where people might nickel and dime customers. And that's where people came up with the term McDojo, right? Like
Yeah.
because people, and that's true in the consultant world. There's been consultants that took money but didn't deliver or weren't available or weren't there and had their backs when things got tough, unless people
Mhm.
paid more money. So there could be a trust issue. And then number three, I will tell you that there's some people that I don't think believe in themselves that they'll do the work. Because here's the thing that I would tell you, because this is not how we feed our families. So I would never sell a program like this and say this, but you're not going to join my elite. And I'm going to tell you it's easy. We're going to show you and it's going to be easy. We're going to go. No, you're going to bust your ass. You're going to
Yeah.
grind for at least the first 90 days. It's going to be overwhelming, but you sacrifice today for the rewards of tomorrow. If you trust us and trust the system, your life will be different a year from now. It will be different, but you got to work. You got to put in the work. So if I was really wanting to sell people, I would tell them it's a turnkey system. It's very simple. Everything's, but it's not. There's some
Mhm.
work involved. So I think there's a thing where people say, look, I just know I'm not going to do it. And so they don't do
Yeah.
it.
And okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, let me
Maybe.
give you this real world example. And I'm going to call out my elite people. We have a leaderboard right now, and it's an anonymous leaderboard where we designate a number to our school owners so they know what their number is, and it's based on stats. How many students did you enroll? What's your gross? What's your student value? What's your attrition rate? Some basic numbers, just so that school owner can see how they measure up to all the other school owners to keep them motivated, right? It's competitive, but no one's going to know what number who's what except you, and you'll see where you're ranking with all of them.
Yeah.
Now, we just launched this like a week ago. We have hundreds of schools. Right now, 14 people are doing it. 14. Why? We don't want to work. We don't want to like take the time to track the stats. We will have excuses. It's work. It's busy work. We got into this business because we're martial artists. We want to teach great classes. And then we just don't take the time to put it in. There is zero negative and all gain to do this, to see how you're doing, to drive your staff, if you have staff, or you motivate yourself, to see where you're coming up against some other locations. But it's like people have to put in a little work, right? But this is
Yeah.
the secret to maximizing your success. And then there's some people that may be watching that say, well, I don't do that, and I'm very successful. It's not about how successful you are, it's how successful you can be. And that's the difference that people don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of it is you do really kind of have to believe in yourself and be honest with what you need instead of getting too prideful and feeling like, you're being attacked with how you are running your school now. That's good information. So what is the one thing you wish every school owner knew before really getting into the industry? I know that's a really weird question and very broad, but like after 25 years, you see at least one or two mistakes that just happen over and over, and you're like, man, I wish I could just tell them before they thought of that.
Yeah. The biggest mistakes is your beliefs don't equal the right way to do things, right? People have beliefs. So, for example, what are the biggest things that I wish school owners would know before they start a school or whatever is what we call our Core 4 program. It's I said, we got to do something for school owners that just want something simple, which is your core four things to have a solid foundation. And that is the way you charge for your programs. And people will believe, well, that's not the best way. It doesn't work here. That's not accurate, because when you have thousands of schools that have done this, that instantly boosted their revenue and it changed their thing, you can't argue with it anymore. So but you believe that it's confusing, or you believe that it doesn't work. So it's a belief system, but it's the way you charge for your programs. It's understanding that your class schedule has a science to it. A class schedule has to be conducive for quality instruction, revenue generation, and retention. A class schedule has to be designed to hit three of those things, right?
Okay.
People don't know that. What they do is they just put a schedule together of classes and say, here's your schedule. And they don't understand the difference. The third thing is controversial. You have to have upgrade programs in your business. Now, some people will say that's ridiculous. You never force an upgrade. You don't make people upgrade. An upgrade is just, what can you provide of value where a customer may see the value in it and are willing to pay you more money for it. But it's not forced. It doesn't hold you back from getting a black belt. It shouldn't hinder your training or impede your. This is where the confusion gets. But there's not a business on the planet that doesn't have an upgrade. There's not a business. I mean, go to McDonald's and just say, I want a cheeseburger. And they're going to say, do you want to make it a meal for $1.50? And you have an option, yes or no. You're not going to get upset with the lady or the guy. You're going to say yes or no. I mean, so they need to understand that. And then the fourth thing is they need to know how to generate a big group of enrollments at one time. Because especially if you're starting out, if you're under 100 students, the first thing that we do in MAIA, is we got to get you over the 100 mark. Got to get you over 100 students. Because once we're at 100, then everything starts to flow better. So like you got to get to 100. And then if you need to get more students, you could do one-on-ones, and you should do one-on-ones, but you also should know how to do a mass enrollment. And we have those systems. So we teach that. That's the foundation that I believe every school should have if they want to know how to maximize success. Now, one of the things I want to say is, who am I to talk about? Well, we have 9 locations. We're the only owner. We don't have partners or anything. It's Silverman and me. We have 9 schools in Orlando. We have 161 licensed locations around the country. We've been in business for 34 years. And I would hope, and not only that, consulted thousands of schools over 20 years. I would hope that's enough credibility to say, okay, maybe they have a system to this, right? And I have team members here that have been with me for 20, 25, and 30 years. So it's about, and we have over 90 employees working for us. Now, when people say, well, wait, 9 schools, 90 employees, that's a lot of staff. We have corporate offices. We have 2 corporate offices. We have a real estate company. We have the consulting we're running. We have a licensing company. We have the martial arts. So the thing is there are systems here. It's not because we think we're better than anybody. It's because we've made so many mistakes, but we've learned so much from this industry, and we listen. We pay attention, and then we systemize it, and then it becomes duplicatable. So.
Yeah, and then and you guys do the MA Success, which is like basically the monthly newsletter.
Right, which is free.
Awesome.
Which is free for
the free part of it all.
Right,
yeah.
Everybody should get that. There's good information in there, and it's free.
Yeah. Okay, and before we end this, I do want to say, like, what can everyone expect at MAIACon? I know we have over 500 participants, but every time I go, it's a lot of fun, and I mean, I see a lot of new people getting to know a bunch of new people. Like, it's basically just one big family at MAIACon. But to someone who's never been, what could they expect this year? You know.
Well, if anyone watching is going, it's July 19th and 20th, and there's 3 tracks going on at any given time, 3 different rooms. We have an instructor training room, for new drills or presentation. Chris Rappold's doing a session in there. Mr. Dave Kovar's doing a session. Matt Arroyo, ex-UFC fighter, huge following on Instagram, has a hugely successful BJJ school in Tampa. I mean, we have James Lee, Carmichael Simon for the old timers for ISKA on that know those guys, world champion. I mean, we have so many
Yeah,
people coming
different.
in and talking, not to mention the consultants. And they're going to expect to get so much information. They should expect that it's okay that they're going to be overwhelmed. But we're going to tell everybody that when you get your information, go through your notes each night, bullet point your notes. Once you get back, decide what 3 things do we want to implement immediately. Then come back to the other stuff later. Don't get overwhelmed because you'll do nothing, or you'll just get overwhelmed with doing things a little bit. So that's number 1. Number 2 is we purposely have some 30-minute breaks in between, because I would encourage them to introduce themselves and network with some of these other school owners around the country. I mean, it really is. Our MAIA Elite family is like a family. They vacation together. They've made lifelong friends. They all look forward to coming to the events, to seeing each other. But you got to network, and you got to introduce yourself. Not to mention all the people that are coming to our event. They get VIP seating and tickets to the Night of Champions at the ISKA World Championships, the U.S. Open, to watch the evening show on Saturday night.
That is an event for sure. I love that. I never miss it. It's fun. It's entertaining. But awesome. I mean, I'm excited to see you guys next week. And I mean, you really went over, you basically took the reins on all this. I didn't even have to ask you half the stuff I had. That was good. So anyway, anyone who's looking into getting into MAIA, I mean, all the information is here. I mean, basically, if you're starting out, I mean, you can, once you join MAIA, I mean, they'll help you along the way. I love that. And on all levels.
Here's the other thing that I would tell, and there's people that can chime in here, I'm sure. If you're in a point where we don't think you're ready for MAIA, because we don't want anybody that we think would stress financially. And there's people, and like I said, whoever's watching can chime in. There are people that have called me that have wanted to join MAIA, get information. When I ask questions, I said, look, I don't want to sign you up for MAIA yet. Here's what I want you to do. And we will give them free advice and tips and say, when you get to, for example, there was a person, when you get to 50 students, somebody called with 20 students. I said, when you get to 50, do this, follow this. When you get to 50 students, let me know. They called me a couple months later and said, did everything you said, I'm at 50 students. What do you think about me coming on board? I said, no, let's get to 70 students. And then they showed up for one of these little success summits where we have 10 school owners. They were in this room. And at the end of the 2-day event, somebody said, well, how can I sign up for MAIA? And I said, look, I'll let you know one-on-one what I think. If I think we can help you, I'm going to tell you. And then this person, they were sitting right there. This person raised her hand and said, sir, do you remember I was the one who was asking you and you kept saying, no, I'm at 100 students now. I want to sign up. I said, that's so funny. I said, I did not realize that was you. Yes, we would love to have you in the program now. But the thing is I think when you say call MAIA, or if you want to sign up for MAIA, look, if somebody just has questions, if somebody wants to see if we can help them, we're not just going to try to, we're going to sell you if we think we can help you. But we're not going to sell you if we don't think you're ready to be helped yet. I mean, so that's what I would tell people.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, if you're ready, you'll at least help them get ready to be,
Look, our mission is clear. Mission's clear. Want to help this industry. And if you're a school owner, you're part of that industry. Period. That's what we want to do. Yeah.
That's so awesome. You guys do such a good job all the time. But anyways, I really appreciate you doing this with me today. And I mean, that was a lot of information, but it was all really good information. I even learned a lot because I didn't understand the difference between the certain factions either, and like kind of how you go through the tree of MAIA, I guess.
Yeah, so. Well, yeah, there's a lot to it, and there's even the MAIA Edge program. But again, listen, if somebody's really interested in taking their school to the next level, this is what I mean. They got to take action. Give us a call and inquire. Life is better with options. If you don't like what we have to say, you move on, right? I mean, but if you just don't even want to see, you'll never know. And like I said, it's what you don't know that holds you back, right?
That's true. I mean, I hope this has inspired people to actually make the call instead of seeing it and being like, So.
I wish it was that easy. We've been doing this 25 years.
I know,
But We'll see. We'll help you if you need help out there.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Metzger.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah. And I'll see you next week.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.